Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Web3 Talks. My name is Ornella Hernandez, and today my special guest is Jovana. How are you today?
Very good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show. So Jovana, you are the co-founder and CEO of Omla, which is a soon-to-be-launched crypto subscription platform, correct?
That's it.
All right, so we're gonna get into what that means very soon. But first, let's play a quick game of this or that.
Okay.
It's basically like Would You Rather, but crypto edition.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Okay. All right, so let's start off with Bitcoin or Ethereum?
Bitcoin.
Or altcoin?
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin? Okay.
Bitcoin. Hands down Bitcoin.
Okay, why?
It was the original. I love the whole purpose behind it, and I think it's, I want to say, the one that I believe has got the brightest future with something really substantial behind it. And I mean, we can unpack that a bit as well.
Okay. Next, X, formerly Twitter, or TikTok?
Oh, TikTok.
I know you have a bias there.
Definitely have
Why?
some bias. I think what I really loved about TikTok, forget the fact that I even work there, but I think TikTok has managed to just change so many people's lives. And I think a lot of people don't really recognize or realize that, but it has launched so many artists, so many people's careers. And I think it's had a lot more of a positive impact than I think a lot of people realize.
Definitely. All right. And last one, crypto conference or day at the office?
Ooh. Before I probably would have said crypto conference, but now that I'm building my own company with like super purpose driven, I kind of want to say day at the office.
I know,
Yeah.
that's the thing with events. Like, it's great to meet people, but you don't actually work there. So
Yeah.
it's a balance, especially with so many events going on at the same time. You gotta prioritize.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so let's get into the business that you're building, Omla. What does that even mean? Where did you get the name from?
Ooh, so I want to say Omla is a platform which is MENA-centric, not MENA only, but I think there's just such a big gap in the market for us to build something meaningful here. So Omla, Omla first of all means coin or currency in Arabic. And we wanted to be not just a platform that had an address here or that was just based here and translated everything from English to Arabic, but we wanted to be a platform that was really, truly Arabic first, for the region, from the region. I think, though, that there is definitely scope for us to expand outside of MENA. So we wanted to make sure that the name was easy to say in English, easy to say in Arabic as well. So that's, I would say, where the name comes from. And I think going back to the whole why Omla, why maybe even the region, I think we came across just such a crazy stat that I think Arabic is, I think, the 4th or 5th largest or most used language online, but only about 1 to 3% of all content across internet, across content in general, is Arabic, actually.
Interesting. So, not just crypto content, but
no,
in general,
just
like
in
around
general.
social media.
Yeah. So
Okay.
There's definitely a very big gap in actually taking not just content, but actually creating meaningful content for people in this region. And of course, space to expand beyond as well.
Definitely. All right. So then what is the vision and the mission behind Omla? What would you like to achieve?
The vision and mission behind Omla, I want to say, is to make getting legitimate cryptocurrencies easy and accessible for everybody. I think the way that I see it, when we're all in this crypto bubble, it's like we don't realize that we've gone from 0 to 100 in the last couple of years. But outside of this bubble, people really don't know the intricacies of DeFi and metaverse and just the entire space that we've been in. So I want to say that there's almost like this new divide that's been created, almost how there was a very big digital divide back, when the internet really first came along. So we've got the people who are in the know and who are benefiting from the crypto space. And then we've got the people who should be benefiting from the crypto space and where we're going. But there's nothing that's really accessible for the mass market or just the person on the street who likes watching Netflix and having a good time with their friends and chilling. And who doesn't want to spend 8 hours every weekend watching YouTube videos of how to use super complex products? So
what is it that makes it so inaccessible or daunting, as you've described?
Well, I think just going back to my background, and I mean, you mentioned previously, that I have my TikTok background and working in mass tech companies. But even that aside, if I look at what are the most 20 downloaded apps in the world, it is the likes of Spotify and Netflix and TikTok. And what you notice, the trend there is they're not financial services and they're definitely not crypto products. So how do you take those top 20 app experiences? Because those top 20 app experiences, I want to say, are like the reference for how the world works for most people, right? I mean, and then you compare those user interfaces and those user experiences with what you would get on a trading platform or an exchange. And like those two things are on completely opposite sides of the spectrum. So I think that's the I want to say gap that we're trying to bridge by bringing this sense of novelty from the crypto world and bringing that sense of familiarity with the Web2 top 20 mass market, mass brand, and bringing those two things together with, I also want to say, like a positive social impact piece as well.
Okay, so then if Omla is not a financial platform, then what is it?
Omla is, before anything, I think Omla is a brand that resonates with people in the way that if you look at the biggest companies in the world are not product companies. They I think help people achieve something a bit bigger. I mean, people don't buy Apple because they believe it's the best camera, the best. I mean, I love my Apple products, but it's not because the technology is the best thing. It's because I resonate with something beyond just the product with Apple. And I think that's what we're trying to bring into
and
the
space. Marketing when it comes to Apple, especially.
Yeah, it is. But the marketing is very purpose driven. So, I mean, and I think Apple is just such a good case as well, because Steve Jobs really had a vision of what Apple was on a much bigger, I almost say like a broader, almost like metaphysical level. And I think people really resonated with that and they love that. And I think we need to bring a lot more of that into the space, because people are not looking at this financial product or that crypto exchange and saying, well, which one has got the best, I don't know, user interface or because ultimately people are not buying the product. A lot of, for the most of the people, I want to say like 95% of the common user, all of those features are the same across every single platform.
Right. Like how much can you really differentiate between all the different exchanges or platforms? Okay, so then how does it look like specifically and at a practical level for Omla? I understand that it's a weekly subscription service. So on the website, it says it costs 25 dirhams per week, which is approximately $7 a week that you're investing into which currencies?
So yeah, let me tell you a bit about that. So first product, Bitcoin only on a subscription basis. And if you look at, again, going back to top 20 apps, people are in that mindset of understanding how subscriptions work. So I want to say, even just from the get-go, our core product workflow is like create an account, pick a plan, and let your crypto stack on autopilot. So Bitcoin only, because trying to understand 5 or 50 different cryptocurrencies at the same time for someone who's never been in crypto before, which is the market that we're after, it's easier to explain one and really help people understand what that really is and how it's going to help them, versus a whole bunch of different currencies. So 5 different options. We've got 25, 50, 100, 250, and 500. So everything from your kind of Bitcoin explorer to Bitcoin trailblazer.
Okay.
And just putting that in an experience that feels a lot more like getting a subscription to Netflix or checking out on Amazon.
Right, something we're already used to.
Exactly. So we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're saying we're going to bring this experience that you already know and combine it with crypto and give you access to something that you want, but in a way that's unconventional in the crypto space.
Yeah, and easier.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like you wouldn't even have to worry about it, right? It's like an automatic subscription.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you just let it stack on autopilot. You don't have to try and time the market. You don't have to try and trade. You don't have to understand what is leverage trading and margin trading and limit orders and spot orders and, you know, staking and everything else that you're going to find on, if I could say, like traditional crypto platforms or trading platforms. Because, I mean, if I tell people out there like who are not in the crypto and trading space, a candle, they're thinking like something with a little flame. Like people are not thinking in that trading and crypto mindset. So it's just about taking things to planet Earth and where we are right now.
Okay, I understand. And so how does this then add or create a different experience than what we're used to? You say you want to, you know, you're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but you still want to change up the user experience, make it a little more fun. So how will you achieve that?
So, I mean, I want to say the first thing you're going to notice about Omla is there's no charts, there's no trading, and there's no jargon. So I think already we've stripped out 90% of what exists in the crypto world today. And the whole experience really, I want to say, is not reinventing the wheel in tech, but I almost want to say it is reinventing the wheel in crypto. So how do you marry that subscription-based user experience with a crypto product? And that's, I want to say, like where Omla really comes in. And I think also a lot of it goes to marketing, communications, just the way that I want to say we speak human. I mean,
yes,
that is probably the biggest differentiator. It's for us,
speak human as opposed to what, crypto jargon?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I mean, I was watching. Actually, I met somebody who told me they create like super easy crypto videos. And then I watched it. I was like, wait, hang on. This sounds super simple because you've been in crypto for the last 10 years.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, like within like the first 10 seconds, it was already like full of probably 5 to 10 things that most people never heard of.
Yeah. Why do you think we've gotten to that point where we speak in like another language?
I think because if we look at where we are on the adoption curve of technology in general, and we then zoom into that on a crypto level, it made sense to build these more complex and financial-based products because it was for the early market. I mean, you and I and the rest of the crypto bubble, we're happy to sit and test things out and play with it and, you know, watch 18 hours of YouTube videos to figure something out. Because that's the mindset of early adopters. But then when you think about your early majority and beyond, which is where I want to say the real mass market is, the mindset is very different. They don't want to do those things. They don't want to have those experiences, but that doesn't mean that they don't want the product.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. And so then what is the timeline for Omla? When can we expect it to launch? What state are you at currently? Can we sign up for it?
So currently our waitlist actually is open. So go sign up for the waitlist at getomla.com. And we're expecting to launch by latest Q3, hopefully earlier than that. There's a few things that, because we're still an early stage company, that we need to get right, and we need to get right for this customer, because unlike the early adopters, the early majority or that mass market are a lot more unforgiving. So we don't want to just launch for the sake of launching. We want to make sure that our product is really good, really easy to use, and that people are going to resonate with it as well.
All right. Okay, and now I'd like to get more into your background. So yes, we did allude that you used to work at tech giants such as TikTok, video sharing, social networks, and ByteDance before it became TikTok.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask just about that transition and what kind of led you to crypto. Like, is there a moment or a memory that you have when, I don't know, someone first told you about Bitcoin or when you first learned about blockchain?
Yeah, I want to say I've almost lived two parallel lives, because on one hand, I come from the corporate world and working with mega brands. On the other hand, I've been one foot in crypto for a very long time. And the first time I heard about crypto, actually, it was even before it was crypto, it was just Bitcoin at that stage. I was living in South Africa at the time. And backstory to that, originally, actually, I'm from Serbia. So there was like an economic collapse in Serbia. I was in South Africa at the time. This was like 2013 when I really became familiar with Bitcoin. And within South Africa, the economy was also not doing that great. Right next door, the Zimbabwean economy was also really not doing well. So I think I just fundamentally understood from a first-person perspective that idea behind Bitcoin, and then watched the whole journey of crypto unfold. And I think back in 2013, I felt like I was probably late to the party, to be completely honest. And I don't think I ever in a million years would have imagined that Bitcoin would have got to like 67,000. Now that I think about it though, I still feel like today we're still so early. Like I feel like I'm still back in that 2013 moment saying, oh, I'm late to the party, but actually in hindsight, it was like super early. And I think people who are getting in now are still super early to the party. So yeah, I fundamentally resonated with it. And then my journey was on one hand, working primarily with financial services and tech and consumer brands, and really understanding how do you build big brands? How do you scale big tech companies? But I fell in love with the crypto world. And I think it also goes back, I want to say, to my childhood.
Okay, tell me about it.
You know, my dad is like the super genius engineer. So he's always pushed us like to look at innovation very differently. And like we had computers and we were playing computer games like back literally when nobody even had a computer. So I think we were always encouraged to look at innovation and the future and technologies. So I think the innovation side really hooked me onto like just the amazing stuff that was happening within the crypto and wider blockchain space. So at some stage, I feel like I also got FOMO about, you know, I'm sitting here at my corporate desk job, but I feel like my other foot in crypto is like, I'd go to a crypto conference and then I'd go to like my desk job. And then I was like, you know, I feel like there's a bigger purpose behind what I want to achieve in life. And I feel like there's a big like opportunity and gap for me to really like do something meaningful and purpose-driven there.
Yeah. So you wanted to be in the thick of the innovation and the chaos of crypto.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so what has your experience been like as a founder? Do you have any advice or tips for other entrepreneurs out there?
Wow, I probably 10 or 15 years ago, if you had asked me whether I'd be an entrepreneur, I would have been like, probably not, because it's really scary, right? Like taking that that jump and that leap. And in fact, someone said on a podcast earlier, I'm trying to think who it was, but anyway, she said like getting off this like corporate IV drip. I want to quote someone, but I can't remember who it was. And it's so true, because it's like, oh, you work in a big tech company, yeah, there's great benefits, and it's exciting. I mean, to really build something at a scale that just fundamentally touches so many people is great. But then I think if you want to achieve something beyond just that 9 to 5, well, I suppose it's never 9 to 5 anymore, but something beyond that 9 to 5.
Typical work structure,
then you can only really achieve that going down the entrepreneurial route. And I think that has to be very purpose-driven. Like Omla for me is very purpose-driven, and making sure that people have got access to new technologies and the future of the economy. So I think find something that gives you purpose and that you really want to be excited to build, because it's definitely not as easy as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. And you need support and a lot of help. Can't do it on your own as well.
So I think if it's purpose-driven, you know, you're just excited to get out of bed every day and just tackle those challenges and figure those problems out. Whereas, if it's not, I think it's a different story.
I'll ask another last question.
Yeah.
What does Bitcoin mean to you?
Oh, Bitcoin to me means having a currency of the future. and allowing people who, especially in this part of the world, have experienced a lot of currency devaluation, to have a place where they can actually hold that store of value and beyond that, even potentially benefits from some of the upside.
Okay, amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that is it for today's Web3 Talks. Make sure to check out other episodes on Web3 TV and sign up for Omla. Thank you guys. Until next time.